Hello to you, Descended Masters, Awakening Ones. Today's message and meditation is on the default sadness of the world. Yeah, big topic. I thought I'd address it because it's something I've been feeling and want us to look at the news to see that this is a thing in the world and that we've drifted into the darker side of the spectrum of emotions. And my point, what I'm going to emphasize today, that this is not a bad thing. This is simply something that to work with and to recognize, because with this pandemic and the various changes that are happening in the world and politics, there's almost like not a single area of life that has been left untouched by the shift and the changes. So now as human beings, with this physical body, which is like an animal body, we are bound to feel the darker emotions because we're under stress. We've been under a long period of stress. And when you look to the future of it, there doesn't seem to be much relief in the immediate future. So if you have hope for the vaccines solving things, that is still a way in the future because we're still having these waves. And if the very word vaccine brings up for you anxiety, well, that is another anxieties that is there. So either way, there's anxieties that are coming up in that sense, and also in our work and relationships, almost impossible to avoid. I don't think anybody, maybe the 1%, have been left untouched by the default sadness of the world, which has just grown in intensity. Now, why am I addressing this? It's because even in myself, when I have it, I feel that I should not have it. There's like a cultural imperative not to have sadness, because if you're like a spiritual person, and if you do spiritual work, and if you read Law of Attraction, all this stuff, you really almost have like a gut reaction, like I don't want to feel this, I'm not supposed to feel this, I'm supposed to get over it. And even if you're not in that spiritual trip, there will be pressures from society to get over it. You've got to get over it, get on to get back to productivity, get back to the way things are. And yet, for some reason, it's quite difficult. And if you look inside, it's because there's this ongoing stress, like a post-traumatic, present traumatic stress, which might manifest as a low-level depression or sadness. So let's talk about it. And it's a great time to talk about it generally, because we have this thing about that we're supposed to get rid of the negative emotions. And then we look at really good teachers like Eckhart Tolle and his portrayal of the now and of not feeling the negative emotions. I've realized that is a misinterpretation from I.C. Watcham. He doesn't actually say that you're supposed not to feel them. His way of getting there is to feel it. But because he's quite deep into it, one is forgiven for thinking that when you're in the now, it's all blissful. But really the now is what is now, is what is happening in your body, in your energy field now. So that high wisdom, if we just step it down a little bit, the way to be in the now is to be present with what is arising now. So in this case, if it's sadness, we'll call it sadness. It can stand for any negative, any darker emotion that you're feeling. When we're in contact with this, when we stop struggling with it and allow it to be there as normal part of the human physical, mental, emotional body, and ease comes in, and then that ease takes us to another form of the now. It's also all the now, but then that sort of blissful feeling of the now comes in. But the way to get there is through the doorway of the pain, not by closing that door. You go through it. Just a quick note, there are relative ways of dealing with that pain. So there's certain things you can do, like you do your mental hygiene things, like go for walks, have exercise, take care of yourself, think positive, do breathing exercise, all that stuff is wonderful. But I found that even if you do that, there's a residual sadness that remains. So that is what we're talking about here. So now we will work with that residual sadness. And I don't even like the word work with, because it implies that you're getting rid of it. What we're doing is being with it. The deepest desire of us, a human being, is to be accepted for who we are. We call this coming home to the self. Yet the biggest critic of ourselves is ourselves. We do not allow ourselves to come home to who we are, because when home feels uncomfortable, sadness, we feel that first we must clear that out the way, because home is bliss. No, home is what's now, what is true. Bliss is surrounding that, and there can be room inside it for the darker shades of emotion. That's very key. As long as you're pushing away something, you will be entranced by that thing, and you will not see the greater presence and bliss that is here already, regardless of what is happening in your body and mental emotional spheres. Okay, so you don't have to get rid of your negative emotion. It's impossible. In fact, our growth as a species depends upon us finding that way of including and transcending those emotions, not repressing. We are meant to be masters of emotion, and that means the light and the dark. And what I'm always talking about here is what I call the third position. First position is negative, second is positive, and third is the top of the triangle, which is the inclusion and transcending of both. If you're very fixated on getting to the positive, that's another entrancement in that matrix of the relative world. So it has relative benefit. Yeah, it feels better to be positive. Try to be positive, but there comes a point when that no longer helps. Then you need to let go of that as well. We go to the third position, and we can play with that right now. We do it this way. Firstly, if you'd like to feel into the body, into your energy field, and get in touch with anything that feels a little bit like a darker shade of emotion, the sadness I was speaking of, the confusion, triggered anger, anything like that, just feel a little bit of it now. Just have a sense of it. Okay, got it? And then my question to you is, can you allow that to be there? Can you allow yourself to experience that just for now? Can you say yes to this experience just for now? That means, can you be willing to sit with that negative, darker shade just now, right now, without trying to get rid of it? Just feel into that, and you don't have to say it, because if you can't find the yes to that, and you're really not willing to sit with it, my next question is, can you say yes to that refusal? Can you say yes to that resistance? Finding the yes. So however many steps it takes to pull backwards into, okay, I'm happy, I'm okay to sit here, I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling triggered, I feel sad, I feel, all that stuff. I don't want to feel it, but I'm okay to sit with it now while this video is playing. I'm just going to feel that, even if it's painful. Okay, you got that. So you're finding the yes. Good. So what you're doing now is you're taking a step back. We haven't gone from position 1 to position 2, the light. We're actually stepping upwards, because now you're leaving the field of battle. You're leaving the field of the conflict. The conflict is still happening in you. Energy field, body might be feeling triggered. But it's okay. It's okay. We're here together. We're doing it. It's the default sadness of the world. Just feel it. Okay. As you're allowing it, bring your attention and make it even more fine and tune into what else is happening around you in the room, in your broader energy field, and the background of your awareness. So, in the foreground might be pain, sadness, or what's in the background, what's around here. Let's take a moment to feel into that. So if I tune into what's in the background of my awareness right now, I'm in touch with a stillness. I can hear sounds outside. There's an ocean just over there and some dogs barking. And around it is stillness. So I wonder how it is for you as you're tuning into that slightly more expanded level of what is around the pain, what is around it. Quite a subtle emotion, quite a subtle feeling. Have you got an inkling of that, just a sense of it? Good. And you might like to expand into it more, just letting go even more of that pain feeling and just going with what's around. Just be curious. What's around? You might have sensations like a sense of curiosity, stillness, peace, strength, all coexisting with what remains of that sadness. Then you can take even one more step back and just bring awareness to awareness itself, the sense of I am. I am. Resting in I am. I am. Full stop. I am. Good. Now at this point, I notice for me, it's like time slowing down a little bit more difficult to speak, because it's become much more simple. It's I am is a very simple place. Right. So however you're experiencing this, very subtly or quite strong, you might like to just look back at that moment, at that whatever it is that is causing the sadness, just from this distance of I am, keeping your place in the background awareness. Just look at your life, at your situation, the situation that is difficult, and just ask what shift in attitude or state might make a difference to how you feel about yourself in that situation. What shift in attitude might be helpful in working with this situation? See if something comes to mind, and if nothing is at the moment, it will be there later today or tomorrow. It'll just pop in your mind from the unmanifest. Good. So this is a little process you can do to access this now. Now this is the now. This is the bliss aspect of now. But to get to this bliss aspect, we went through the feeling of the negative without resisting it. So step one, feel it. Step two, can you say yes to it? In other words, just can you allow yourself to feel it without resisting it? Or find the yes to the resistance. The resistance is fine, it's okay, don't worry about it. It's part of the now. It's the now. Along with your body, along with your thought, it's the now. And as you're doing that, you might notice a bit of restfulness comes in, a peace, an ease, because you've stopped struggling. Expand your awareness to more of the background. Notice the subtle sensations that are there, and these have been here all along. As long as you're fighting the negative or trying to get to the positive, you will miss what's here already, all along. Okay, I'm going to bring this to an end now, and you're free to, if you'd like to just sit with this space, this I am, return to this process again and again if need be. If you'd like to share your experiences in the comments of this video, if it helped you, if you have any questions, share with us how you feel, what was the subtle emotions, subtle feelings in the background of your awareness. Let me know how you're doing with this. Okay.